YouTube family, what's going on, Sister Nirvana, Miss Shirley? Okay, I'm about to get started working on your fragrance oil and fragrance lotion orders. Um, Everyone, Miss Shirley, she purchased a fragrance lotion for me, and she's gonna go with the fragrance Red Door. Sister Shirley let me know that she's a 76-year-old woman, and she was looking for us, Sanaya and I, to come up with a fragrance for her, but she picked out one that is perfect. Red Door. That's one that I would have suggested. So I got your Red Door here. What I'm going to use is half of this to make the fragrance lotion. But I'm also going to send you some pink sugar, because you said that you were considering getting pink sugar also. So what I'm going to do as a bonus, I'm going to do one of these in pink sugar for you. And then for Sister Nirvana, who I'm giving her a fragrance lotion deal, because of her contribution to the channel, her suggestion to turn or to call my my storytime videos of how me and Sanaya became a couple. She made a suggestion to call it the Blue Bucket Chronicles. And that's what they are called now, the Blue Bucket Chronicles, how me and Sanaya became a couple. So she ordered, which I'm going to use the non-fragrance shea butter lotion. And this is a 4-ounce jar. This is a 4-ounce jar here. We're going to do mango butter as the lotion. And then I'm going to do Egyptian musk as an oil. And this is the order Brother Eric that called, out the blue, unexpected fragrance oil order, $50 order. This is his order, and I'm going to be shipping that off tomorrow. Okay, and for those of you all who are interested, just go to my eBay page. I have the link at the bottom of the video. These are some purchases. Also, these are specials for subscribers and supporters of the channel. I had someone, Sister Deborah, who purchased. She wants all. I don't know, Sister Deborah, if you're watching this video, do you want all MK Shimmer? You got five 1/6-ounce bottles coming to you. This size right here, and you can see the difference. Okay, you have 5 of these coming to you, and on your order, you just put MK Shimmer. So let me know if you want all 5 MK Shimmer. I'll do that. But you got 5 choices for different fragrances. Okay, and then Brother Michael, he ordered 3 Jean Paul Gaultiers and 2 Dior Sauvage. Okay, that sounds like a man that knows what's good. Not only that, he knows what he wants. You know what I mean? So yeah, you all, if if you want to support the channel, support what I'm doing, here's a way that you can do it, is by going to my eBay page. Just click on the link below this video. All right, so let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into it. This is chapter 4. This is chapter 4 of this Blue Bucket Chronicles edition. Okay, let me go ahead and grab the bucket because I'm going to go outside. And the thing is, I just got off work. Like a lot of videos now have been showing me just getting off work. But then again, I've been showing a lot of videos of me waking up in the morning with our morning routine also. But I'm trying to get out and get this video done before the sun goes down. And also I'm trying to get this video done before my battery runs out also. So because I want to post this video tonight. So let me grab my bucket and we're going to head on down. YouTube family, here's the thing, and I forgot my little handmade handle that you all remember the video where I made this handmade handle. I'm just going to attach that real quick just to make it easier for me to hold this camera. Okay, there we go. We're good. We're good. Okay, YouTube family. In the last video, chapter 3, I talked about my analytical method for finding a woman, finding a mate, if you want to say. Oh, excuse me, sis. Come on through. Come on through. Uh-huh. Yes, ma'am. Well, that was surprising. I'm just not used to seeing someone come through the stairwell door like that. Anyway, okay. In chapter 3, I broke down my analytical method for finding a mate. Okay? From the standpoint, I analyzed their astrological sign and their Chinese, and also from the Chinese zodiac, what year they were born in. And I match those characteristics and those identifiers with mine. Okay, I don't think you all have really seen me come out at dusk like this to do videos. But I need to get this one done tonight. It seems like there's a little bit of condensation on the lens. I'm gonna see if I can kind of wipe it off. Okay, that looks better. You all can hear the birds chirping at night. Okay, and like I said, I'm trying to get this video done before it gets too dark. It might already be. But I'm gonna try to get this done. Well, get to it, Martin. Get to it. All right, so. You know what? I'm gonna do this video right here under this lamp. Under this light right here. Okay, that's where I'm gonna sit right here and do this video. Okay. Yeah, this will work right here. There we go. Okay, so using those analytics, I found someone that I thought would make a good mate. This was someone who I was familiar with. I knew her. She was a hair client, years prior. But when I began to talk to her and get to know her, I came to the realization, okay, I got a match. She and I match based on primarily the Chinese zodiac. As far as the astrological aspect of things, the astrological zodiac, she was a Sagittarius. And as, Sister Nirvana says, sassy Sagittarius. That's what she was. And Sagittarius and Libra, not so good. But like I said, I was kind of desperate. I was dealing with some desperation, and I wanted to find a woman. Because I didn't want to be lonely anymore. I feared the loneliness and isolation. Okay, but we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. So, I talked about how she and I became intimate, and once we became intimate, I got somewhat claimed, if you want to say. I got claimed, and I'm going to be checking because I do have the cord to try to keep the battery charged. So just work with me, you all. Yeah, we became somewhat of a couple then, and like I said, I was with it. I didn't mind that she claimed me as her man, after one night. You know what I mean? It is what it is. If it worked, it worked. So we began to date. And the thing was, I think she was really surprised at who I was and what I was into. Okay, y'all just follow me. When we were first starting to talk, I had gone to Vegas to go to the Grand Canyon for my birthday. Okay, so for her right then and there, okay, you're going to the Grand Canyon for your birthday? Is that what you do? And I began to tell her about how I travel and the things that I do and, what I'm into. And she was intrigued. And, I went on and put together a trip to Atlantic City for both of us to go on. And one of the main things I wanted to show her is the Exhale Spa at Oceans Resorts. I mean, amazing. If you ever get a chance to experience the Exhale Spa at Oceans, do it. Treat yourself. Okay? Now, once again, for me, I knew how nice that place was. So that was just another thing that I wanted to expose her to. Hey, look, these are the kind of things I like to do. These are the kind of experiences I like to have. If we can work together, and that's kind of my thing. If we can work together to build a life together, it's going to be nice. It's going to be fun. Her birthday, once again, my birthday was in October. Her birthday was in December. And it just so happened, I'm pretty connected to what goes on at MGM Properties. And I was looking at something about MGM and stumbled on Anita Baker was performing at MGM National Harbor. You all saw the video. That's where me and SAYNIA went for Mother's Day. MGM National Harbor. So, I looked at it. I said, this would be nice. This would be nice to go to an Anita Baker concert. And it just so happened to be on her birthday. Okay? And the other thing is, going to an Anita Baker concert was kind of like a bucket list thing for me. So it was big, but out the blue, I asked her, I said, hey, do you like Anita Baker's music? She was like, yeah, I like Anita Baker. I said, would you like to go to an Anita Baker concert for your birthday? Yeah. I said, okay, well, we're going to make that happen. Anita Baker is performing at MGM National Harbor in Maryland, and we're going. Just like that. I didn't know how we were going to do it. The tickets were expensive. I'm not going to get into the whole story about going to the concert because that's a story in itself. But this was another example. Going to that Anita Baker concert was another example of me putting something out to the universe and not worrying about how it was going to happen. I didn't worry about how it was going to happen. I just knew I wanted to go to Anita Baker concert, and she was down to ride. Okay, so that's how that happened. The thing is, we went to the concert, and once again, she really wasn't, all that hyped about Anita Baker like I was, But in the middle of the concert, look here, y'all. In the middle of the concert, Layla Hathaway comes walking out on stage. We didn't know she was a part of the program. The whole program was mainly Anita Baker. Layla Hathaway starts walking out, and she loves Layla Hathaway. She said Layla Hathaway is her girl crush, Anyway, that was just one of the experiences that we had, early on in our relationship. I got a guy who's standing by me, and I'm trying to do this video. So let me grab the blue bucket and go find another light so I can get this video done. Okay, so these were some experiences that we had early on in our relationship. And I felt good because I felt like, okay, I'm showing the quality of man that I am and what we can do and the fun we could have. And that was the beginning of our relationship. The other thing is this. I would go, okay, it's a little bit more darker over here. Damn, why did that guy have to come over and start making all that noise? Yeah, I mean, damn. This big parking lot. Anyway, okay. So, there's somebody over in this on this side, but I don't want to interrupt her. She's talking on her phone, but I already had my spot. I had my spot over there, But anyway, let me get this video done. The thing is, it got to the point that I was at her house every night. I still had my home in the extended stay. I'm sorry, in the rooming house. I'm so used to saying extended stay. I still had my home in the rooming house, but every night after I finished my work, I would go to her house and spend the night with her. You know, and one particular night or morning rather. One particular morning, I got up like I usually do. I get up, I make a pot of coffee, and having coffee and a Danish in the morning, that's something I've always done. That's just something that I like to do, and I hope you all can see me okay. I'm just kind of walking around. So I would get up in the morning, and like I said, she worked at a grocery store as a cake decorator. And I would get up in the morning and make some coffee, make a pot of coffee, maybe make some breakfast. I would do things just like I do now with SAYNIA. I would do things to help prepare her for her day of work. You see what I mean? And the other thing that I enjoy doing in the morning is cleaning. I'll get up and I'll clean the kitchen, or I'll do whatever needs to be done. And she had a mop. She had an old mop that, it wasn't, no, you know what? Now that I think about it, I'm sorry. She didn't have a mop. That's what it was. She didn't have a mop. And she had linoleum floors. And I said, you need a mop so I can mop the floor, because the floor was kind of sticky and grimy in her kitchen. And once again, she had a beautiful house. But I guess with her work schedule and all of that, and once again, she had a daughter, she didn't have time to really clean her house, but it was still a very nice house. So I said, you need to get a mop so I can mop the floor. Well, the next morning, that evening, she had bought a mop at the Dollar Tree. Okay, y'all know what kind of mops they sell at the Dollar Tree. Okay. So, the next morning I got up, and she came to me and she said, I didn't know where she got it from. She said, I got a mop. And she gave me this little, flimsy peaked mop with just a few, yarn hairs on it. Y'all know what the mops look like at Dollar Tree. And like I said, I didn't know where she got the mop from. I said, where'd you get this mop? Dollar Tree? She said, yeah, and kiss my ass. Okay. And she just walked off to her bedroom. I was in the kitchen. Yeah, and kiss my ass. Okay, that's that sassiness. I stood there for a moment, kind of in shock. I said, did she just tell me to kiss her ass? I really didn't know how to respond. I really didn't know how to respond. But I began to think and imagine she and I, her beautiful little daughter, okay, at a family function, maybe a picnic or something like that, a family reunion. And we're at a family gathering, and she just casually tells me, kiss her ass in front of her family or in front of anybody. And I said to myself, oh, I can't let that happen. I can't let her get comfortable thinking she can tell me to kiss her ass. Okay, so we got a problem. I walked to the back to her bedroom in the back of the house. I said, "Excuse me, did you just tell me to kiss your ass when I made a comment about the mop?" "Yeah, Martin, I was just playing. You know, don't take things so serious. Don't take things so serious." I said, No. I said, first of all, I don't play like that. Okay, don't turn this into no argument. You always want to turn something into an argument. No, I don't. But I can't have you thinking that you can just tell me to kiss your ass. That's not going to happen. And that exchange turned into a heated exchange. Okay? There was some fussing, and mainly, instead of her accepting responsibility that, yeah, you were out of line, you shouldn't have said that to him. Okay? And I know some of y'all are listening and listening to what I'm saying, and you got your views on it, but that was disrespectful. And like I said, it was an argument, but we wound up yelling at each other as she was getting in her car and driving away to go to work. That was a moment where I had a choice to make. Martin, are you going to continue on in this relationship with this woman? I mean, this was one of those red flags that you chose to ignore. You knew, you had an idea this was her character. You analyzed it. You did the analytics. And it happened. The sassy Sagittarius sassed you. So what are you going to do? Well, I went to work, and once again, at the time, I worked where I lived in the rooming house. So I went to my home where I lived in the rooming house, and I had clients for the day, and took care of my clients and everything. But all day long, I thought about. I found a dime on the ground. Oh yeah, I pick up coins. If I see coins on the ground, I'm gonna pick them up. Even if it's a penny, I'm gonna pick it up. But all day long, that was on my mind. Martin, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna deal with this? Well, as the day turned to evening, and she got off work, she gave me a call and asked, "Are you coming over this evening?" And I had to think about it. No, as a matter of fact, she didn't call me. She sent me a text message. "Are you coming over this evening?" And I had to think about it. And I was afraid. I was afraid of the loneliness. Because at her place, in her house, I was around people. I felt like a family man again. You know, I was in the position, which I feel is my natural position, to be the man of a household with a woman and a child. And although that child wasn't mine, you know, that role is something that I gravitated to. So yes, it might have been 8 o'clock at night. It was dark outside. I hopped on my bike and rode to her house. And she only lived maybe three miles from the college campus, Hampton University, where I lived and worked. I hopped on my bike and I rode about 3 miles to her house. And I never slept another night in the rooming house. Okay? So at that point, I was locked in. And I can remember coming into her house and putting on my green smock shirt like I always wear, and maybe some shorts. And I remember sitting on her couch and watching Monday Night Football. Almost clear as day. The Green Bay Packers were playing. Because I remember watching Aaron Rodgers on the big screen TV she had on her wall. Like I said, she had a really nice house. And she came over to me and said, "Wise choice." That's what she said to me. Wise choice. So on that note, everybody, this was chapter 4 of this edition of the Blue Bucket Chronicles. The story of how me and SAYNIA became a couple. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you have any questions or positive or constructive comments, leave them in the comments section. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. I hope you all can see me okay. It's dark out here now. And I was trying to get this video done before it got dark. But I think you all can see me okay. I put a lot into this video. So anyway, if you haven't subscribed, subscribe to the channel. Thank you for clicking on and tuning in. Chapter 5 is next. Stay tuned. Be blessed and be a blessing.